Shout out to them freshmen on Instagram, straight flexing. Sorry, I've been listening to a lot of Trinidad James lately.
Okay, we are live everywhere. Yes.
Yes. Cool. This is wonderful. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Oakland Poetry Slam. Yes, we are back and better than ever. I know, personally speaking, I'm feeling refreshed from our break and from our workshops that we had last month with Janae Johnson. Shout out Janae for those beautiful workshops, and shout out to everyone who was able to make it. It was wonderful being able to sit in community without the pressure of competition, but here we are back again, putting the pressure in the community. Not even, but seriously, we're back with another Oakland Poetry Slam for you today. It's our holiday slam. So it's going to be lit full of holiday cheer. But before we begin, I have to give a special thank you to the folks that make this show and many others in the Bay Area possible. For those of y'all who do not know, this show is just part of a larger program that produces 3 shows in the Bay Area: the Oakland Poetry Slam, the Berkeley Poetry Slam, and the Alchemy Open Mic. And none of those shows would be possible if it wasn't for support from people like you, especially our patrons, our monthly supporters on patreon.com. Without them, we wouldn't have a monthly budget that we can use to plan out our shows, to grow. So thank you. And I'd like to thank, in particular, Renee Edmonds, Emily Chow, and Calla Lilly for being regular supporters. Y'all are amazing. I want to give a shout out to Jessica Kosakic for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. And then I want to give a special super duper Rich Oak event shout out to Alice Grimm and Sarah O'Connell. Y'all have been holding it down, donating $100 a month in support for one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center, making sure that anti-police brutality spaces and community centers and radical Black spaces in the Bay Area remain open, remain alive and thriving. So I want to thank all of our patrons. If you would like to support us, as well as other shows in the Bay, you can visit patreon.com/richoakevents to donate monthly. You can also always send a one-time donation our way. We have Cash App, Venmo. Our Cash App is Rich Oak Slam Events. Our Venmo is Rich Oak Slam. And you can always hit us up on PayPal as well, paypal.me/Berkeley Slam. All of your donations go right back into making sure that we can run these shows, pay our artists, pay our features, pay our organizers, and all of the fees that come with running these shows online and keeping you safe in these shows online. So any donations you can make are really important. On top of that, hey, Coco, I know you're the center of attention, but not right now. Dogs. Yeah, we are not the only people in community, and we are definitely really trying, especially coming into the new year, really trying to emphasize our support for community members. So we are right now blasting a GoFundMe of a community member that is in extreme need right now and is trying to leave an abusive household. We will be posting the GoFundMe into the comment section. Any support that you can throw that way is super helpful. It takes a village to raise people out of stressful, impossible, dangerous situations. And if we can be that village for these people, then we need to be that village. It doesn't take many. It just takes a few of us saying, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. No, we're not going to allow a community member to be unsupported in an extremely difficult situation, to lift somebody up. So any little bit, even if it's $5, $10, helps. I'm going to challenge everyone. It looks like the GoFundMe is at $686. I think that we can get it to $1,000 tonight. So I'm going to challenge somebody before our feature to donate $100 and hit up that GoFundMe and help that community member that's in need. Yeah, so with that being said, we have an amazing show tonight. We have an amazing feature, Donte Clark. There's so much I can say because I'm from Richmond, so this has like been a dream of mine to showcase what my city and what my community has to offer, because we are so overlooked in the Bay Area and across the country, and we have so many talented individuals and talented groups that are operating in and around the city. But we also have an amazing lineup of poets that will be competing from across the country. Yep, Rich Oak is national now. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. But before we begin, we do have rules for everyone. First, for the poets, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity, please. This is a family live stream. I'm pretty sure, there might be a Zoom room for that. This is not this Zoom room. But most important than the no nudity is the time limit. You have a time limit of 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds. After 3 minutes and that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Tino. After 4 minutes, usually we have a DJ, not usually, it's been like damn near a year in quarantine, but yesteryear, literally last year, when we had a physical place to be, we would like calmly and politely and like nudgingly, lovingly play somebody off stage with quietly amplified music until they realized that they had gone over 4 minutes and wrap things up. But we don't have the ability to do that now. Yeah, you're in quarantine. Woo, woo, toot, toot. So all we have is that good old mute button. So yeah, if you go over 4 minutes, unfortunately, we will have to mute you. And then Arvind is going to pop my face onto the screen. I'm just going to be like, and it's going to be an awkward 10 seconds, like I promise you. And as painful as it's going to be for you at home, it's going to be so much more painful for us on this Zoom. So please, please do not go. Please do not go over 4 minutes. Someone said it's only been like 9 months, and I'm like, that's a whole ass baby, fam. That's a baby. That's a long time. So yeah, definitely don't go over 4 minutes. And then yeah, next for the judges. Judges, y'all have rules too. Y'all be judging from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. 0.0 being the worst thing you ever heard in your life. It's like garbage, trash, ew, 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 ew. Like it's the 11 times Biden has had to win this presidency in the last month. It's just disgusting. A 10 is the best thing you ever heard. It's like diamonds and fireworks and your mother's favorite coffee just dripping from a cup. I don't know. It's whatever makes you smile at night when you're all alone and staring at your phone. It is beautiful. Point being, there's not a lot of zeros, there's not a lot of 10s. Score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on and we may imbibe, we may get into the groove, maybe feeling things, the poetry starts to sound better, but that's not fair to the people who are just as good as the people who went last, but they went first. So we're gonna have a sacrificial poet. They're gonna go before everyone else. They're not competing, but you're gonna score them like they are. And any poems you like more, you're gonna score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. Cool. And then we have rules for you sitting at home watching us on whatever device. First, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you are staying in contact with us. We do 7 spoken word events and 7 writing workshops a month. That's a lot of shit that you can get involved in, and you want to make sure that you are tapped into all of that. We have features coming from across the country to teach workshops, to give y'all live art, poets coming from across the country to give y'all live art. You don't want to miss it. So whatever platform you're on, like, share, subscribe, but most importantly, make noise and show love in the comment section. I know that some of your comments get posted into the Zoom chat and they're hella heartwarming. It's like, oh, damn, they really feeling this poet. I love it. I know that I go back and look at the live streams and see all the beautiful comments that you leave. It really does warm my heart. So please, please, please participate. And, you know, show your love in the comment section. It's a beautiful thing to see that we have touched people that can be miles and miles and miles away. So please, you do share how you're feeling positively. If you're a troll, eat a dick and we're gonna block you. We don't play that shit. We don't play that bigotry bullshit on our pages. Don't even come for us like that. But if you have nothing but love to share and nothing but love to give, you are welcome in our space. We are here to support poets and poetry and art and artistry, not your bullshit. Love y'all though. Cool. And speaking of that, yeah, just a general, you know, notice for everyone. There's a whole bunch of people in this Zoom room who are going to be doing a whole bunch of different poems about different things. They're going to touch on topics that may be upsetting, triggering, uncomfortable for you. We encourage you to take whatever space you need in order to feel safe. We also encourage you to sit in discomfort and analyze and interrogate everything that you hear, because there is no learning from discomfort if we don't think about it. Yeah, if you do hear something that makes you feel unsafe, please let me or another organizer know, so we can handle that appropriately, because we do want to make sure that people feel safe. But we do encourage people to sit in discomfort and to try to discern the difference between the two, because discomfort can be helpful, but feeling unsafe is not okay at all. And we want to help you through feeling unsafe and feeling uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, please have a conversation with us. We are here to help you. Cool. So we have our rules. Let's go into our poets. Nice. We have a nice list, and it's going to be in this order. We got Cornrow Colin, we got Alex the Great, we got Tara, we got Imogen, and then we got Khadija. Give it up for the poets tonight.
Hey, gang, 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 gang.
Lit, 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 lit. Cool. All right. So are we ready to start this show?
Yeah.
Cool. We need our sacrificial poet, though, someone to get y'all ready for the poetry. Everybody say, spill the blood.
Spill the blood.
Spill the
Give it up
blood.
for your sacrificial poet, Reggie.
Woo!
When my brother tells me that Marva said that her pronouns are nigga, I felt that shit, because my pronouns are nigga. My gender is a grape swisher and a 40 by noon. Is the whole hood up having a block party in front of the liquor store at 2 a.m. My gender says fuck the rules, fuck the oppressor, fuck anyone not from my block littered with binders and makeup. My gender will still fuck a bitch up without smearing my lipstick, because my gender grew up fighting to survive. My gender knows curled fist and painted nail, long pretty hair and pulled back into a messy bun, because I caught that nigga that was misgendering me on Facebook and I told him hands on sight. My gender knows to keep its hands in sight while shopping or walking or being stopped by the police, knows that my hashtag will always wear the wrong pronouns. My mother will always mourn a son. My gender will keep itself quiet so she doesn't lose a daughter too. My gender is a nigga that can't call itself trans, because that's always been a white word. It don't sit well on a black tongue, don't get used in black conversation or seen on black television. So my gender has always been its own role model. has created a space just for itself. My gender is a Black power fist at a pride parade. My gender says all cops are bastards. Yes, even the ones you are thinking of. Yes, even the queer ones. My gender knows how many gay cops murdered Black boys last year. Is a rainbow flag drenched in its own blood. My gender is first death, then a resurrection, is the unraveling of a Black boy into something beautiful. My gender is graveyard and garden, is headstone and headline and head hunt and head bowed in prayer. My gender is a prayer, which means my gender must be holy. My gender must be sacred. My gender must be God, which means my gender must be a nigga. It is, after all, the Blackest thing I have ever known. Woo, give it up. Okay, judges, send your scores on to Tino. Lit. So that was your sacrificial poet. So now you are officially ready to score the poem. So send your scores into Tino. Please send them in as quickly as possible. He is doing a lot of math, so the quicker that you send them in, the better. Lit. So we have an amazing night. I'm just gonna hop into it. So on deck, we got Alex the Great, but give maximum love to our first poet of the slam. Give it up for Cornrow Colin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Meet Larry. Only he doesn't like to be called Larry. He says Larry is his slave name. Larry likes to be called some random ass Egyptian name he saw online, but his mama named him Larry, so I'm gonna call him Larry. Larry, he loves YouTube documentaries. He prefers them over his college lectures. Says he don't trust the white man's lessons, so naturally, Larry was part of his campus BSU. Only he skipped every meeting to smoke weed, but don't worry, Larry is still woke. He says even when he's asleep, his third eye remains open. Larry loves essential oils. Larry uses a non-essential amount of essential oils. Larry likes to walk around Lake Merritt. He calls every Black man he sees a king, every Black woman he sees a queen, but only to their faces, behind their backs, he calls them things I wouldn't name a dog. And yes, Larry is a dog. He barks the loudest, but does the least work. Larry claims he's doing the most, that he's all about his people, but really it's only the ones he considers human. Larry believes in what we call trickle-down niggonomics. And if you center your movement around cis Black men, that privilege will spread to the rest of the community. Only Larry never liked to share privilege or space. Larry just loves to control everything but his own action. Larry likes to talk shit about the white man for his abuse of empirical structures of power, but uses ancient Egyptian culture as an excuse to abuse and uphold empirical structures of power. Larry is a hypocrite. And speaking of Egypt, Larry's West African ass likes to claim the wrong side of the continent only to have the nerve to come up and ask me, do you know where you from, brother? See, Larry likes to question people's Blackness, but doesn't stop to ask why his own is only rooted in tearing everyone down. Larry spends more time arguing with Black women on whether or not their menstrual cycle is natural than he does doing something productive, like looking for our missing children or ending violence in our communities, or I don't know, just hugging his goddamn mom. See, Larry has all of his priorities fucked up. Or better yet, he is his only priority. His self-centered activism adds a chain for everyone that was ever broken. Larry is a hotep, pro-Black but anti-progress, like freedom was a promise made to him and him only. But Larry, don't you realize that when you spend so much time holding people back, you never actually move forward? That the same niggas you tearing down are the only ones holding you upright. Ain't nobody got us but us. These white folks don't care about how proud you are of your Black, but we care about how ashamed you are of ours. So what you gonna do when your ego fails to stop a bullet and there's no one you deem lesser to shield you from the impact? Now you find yourself standing in front of God. White Jesus doesn't know you and Black Jesus pretends not to. Who will you pray to then? Don't you remember? Ain't nobody got us but us. So if you ain't got us, you must have nobody.
Woo! Gang, give it up for the poet. Lit.
Woo!
And your sacrificial poet got a 28.1. Let them know how you feel. You can always show your support in the comment section in an attempt to sway the judges' scores. Yes, lit. On deck, we have Tara, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Alex the Great.
Woo!
Mommy, when
On closure. Whilst you are home sobbing uncontrollably into your pillows, your neighbors, too enraged from the last few nights you kept them awake to even notice you unraveling at the seams, one frayed Egyptian thread count at a time, and you choose the Kleenex over the phone. Opt not to be the adulteress again, cheating yourself out of happiness. Your lips fail apart. You do not say his name. Instead, this time, you go for the pen. You write yourself into a poem, write your life into a mantra and live again. I choose to convert my body back into a temple, no longer a juvenile's playground, the object of everyone's affection, the one that's weathered down and beat up. No one chooses to play outside in a storm. Meanwhile, across town, the preacher raves about our most high God and all his awesome wonder. Parishioners bow down in benevolence at the altar, bringing gifts of sins cloaked in psalms. God, in his merciful kindness, chooses to give us restoration over retribution. And in all of this mind-wandering, soul-shaking prayer, we are afforded an amen. That, my friends, is closure. The very thing that seals the deal, the literal nail in the coffin, the lowering of the casket, unearthing all their possessions and giving them a new home instead of the closet, erasing the number from your phone so your mind won't even play tricks on your heart, try to speed dial a ghost. Getting voicemails from heaven just ain't the same. Closure is an intimate conversation with God. It is your shame telling you goodbye, packing up its baggage and moving on, the trash taking itself out, and you, feet propped up, sitting pretty on the couch, don't even bother to wave back. Instead, you say, don't slam my door on your way out.
Give it up for the poet. Gang,
Woo!
gang,
Woo, woo.
gang. All right. A what? 27.6. Okay. Let them know. It looks like Cornrow Colin got a 27.6. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and not the points. Like I said earlier, we are blasting a GoFundMe of a community member that is in dire need, is trying to leave an abusive situation. You know how we do at Rich Oak. We always encourage our community members to throw money at the people that need it the most. So we're going to be posting that GoFundMe into the comment section. If you are able, I am kindly asking now, may strong arm later, that you support these community members. It's really important that we all rally around our most vulnerable, because ain't nobody got us but us. It is really important that we have each other. I think we've seen through this pandemic that the government does not give a damn. So it's really important that we are the ones that give a damn. So if you care, put your money where your mouth is and donate to a community member that really, really needs your support right now. Thank you so much. I think that we can help them a lot tonight if we all dig into our pockets and donate. On deck, we have Imogen, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up. Give it up for Tara.
Can you hear me?
Yee.
All right. I've got a beer that's stronger than your will, and I've got ganja that can trump any pill. Pour it better than your mama taught you, because when the brew's too light, I order cranberry and vodka, and lime ain't a choice unless you're into a shot, and if you want a real good buzz, then just smoke some pot. Wait, stop, count your cash, make it lash, because you're out of hash and you're drinking too fast, but I won't stop you. I know it's the alcoholic demon that got you. Tip one more back until it all seems clear, and here's some advice that you might want to hear. The past is the past and we live to forget, and your choice to hate the world should be your only regret. Let your passions burn brighter than a lit cigarette, because you only live once, so don't forget. Temptation's got me mental. I've been losing my mind, and second guessing the next thing gets so tiring over time. So easy to sit and crack another beer, a little voice in my ear telling me, you went against your word. You heard the angel, but the devil said it's better to dabble with a little bit of bad. And when you're 60, you'll wish you had spent some of that health to remember you're alive. 25 and you're already thinking about dying. You're crying over stupid mistakes, broken plates, bottles, and hearts. A part of me waiting to start my journey to being clean, but what's it really mean to be without sedation? You see, I'm patiently waiting to grow old with my medications, controlling my brain, keeping me sane, because I refrained and resisted from the twisted temptations that ease the pain. But the past is the past and we live to forget, and your choice to hate the world should be your only regret. Let your passions burn brighter than a lit cigarette, because you only live once, so don't forget. I didn't learn math to sit and calculate the drama, but line after line, I tend to bitch between the commas. With a glass half empty, we toast to our tears, filling beers to the rim just to drown away our fears. And if there's any way to shine light on these years, well, it's all about the master of persuasion, convincing your mind it's full of useful information. You see, I use dictation as a form of inspiration, and I take a world of problems and I write my own equations. Thank you.
Gang, gang, give it up for the poet.
Woo!
Yeah. And I do believe that was Tara's first time on a Oakland Slam stage. So shout out to first timers. Please come back. Thank you. And for reference, Alex the Great got a 27.1. Fuck the scores. This is where I am unbiasedly saying fuck the scores. All the scores suck. You can get a 10 and fuck the scores, because what I'm here for is the poetry. And the poetry's been A1 tonight. So give it up always for the poet, for the poetry, and for the bravery of coming up onto a stage full of the random strangers on the internet and pouring your heart out. That is what we celebrate, not no goddamn points. But on deck, let me get this list, my phone done, timed out. On deck, we have Khadija, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up onto the stage. Give it up for Imogen.
Hi, can you see me? I can't tell. Oh, wait, no, I didn't start my video. That would help. Hello, hey. All right, so can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, thank you. This is called Women's Rage. Whispered in a hush-hush, lest society's judgmental glower deems this unseemly. This is not within your assigned perimeter. The propaganda wags its disapproving finger. Men don't cry and women don't shout. But I scream every day from blinding rage while afraid of the powers that committed us to institutions as cases not worth the investigation, exposed to dangers they cannot see, therefore must not be existing. Therefore, we must be wrong to insist for our safety or even the feeling of safety. You must defend yourselves with grace. Now that you've issued male guardianship, we still expect the utmost dignity from all of our ladies. Ladies, a curse word if I've ever heard one from a firm believing the portrayal of female perpetrated violence is her own self-defense. So vile that a show that teases the nuance of this subject must be permanently canceled, but never pulls funding from superhero or male action movies with men needing to exact extravagant vengeance over the death of their families. See how they care for us by the death toll in their wake. Ladies killed, raped, and tortured to motivate heroic murders by our men, also our killers, not to be mentioned in the same breath. Everyone saw it coming, but those maintaining the appearance our reality has no relevance to their illusions. Those whose destruction is sanctioned violated social norms. She betrayed, she strayed, she desired too much, she cared too little. There are always reasons, a ready font to be tapped. But him, we forgive. To whom we must open our hearts unopposed, trained to accept our violation where there are no excuses. We must learn to invent in our minds. That must be the limit of our ambition. Behind every great man is a great woman. See how we've been appreciated so long as we stay behind and dare not reach for equal partnership. Let him shine. Let him get all the credit. If he offers us praise, if he offers acknowledgement of our sacrifice, we must quiver in gratitude. We must call him progressive. Our minds colonized for eternal bondage.
Gang, 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 gang.
All right.
Give it up for the poet. Yes. Shit. I'm already forgetting what that last person's score was. What was it?
The last person got a score of a 24.5.
Okay, the last person got a so Tara got a score of 24.5. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, the art, the bravery. It takes a lot to come up on a stage full of strangers to speak your truth. And if anything, what we're going to celebrate is that bravery. Yes. Lit. Ooh, lit. Wow, we're almost done with the first round. So on deck, we have our feature, Donte Clark. I'm super excited for this. But give maximum love to our last poet of the first round. Give it up for Khadija.
Woo, let's go, Khadija.
Ooh.
My friend sees the goosebumps line my arms and tells me to put a coat on. I didn't even notice them until now. I guess I've gotten used to the discomfort, but I'm not cold. My body and I are just different people. When she gets nervous, she tries to escape through the pores on my arms and has hiccups in my lungs. She's embarrassing, always brimming and boiling with fear, and don't even get me started on fear. Well, fear makes a fool out of me. Fear watches my heart sink to its knees and beg for an easy way out. My biggest fear is being forgotten. And fear is why I don't talk too loud, why I fall out of the conversation, why I fall. It's a paradox because I fear heights. I fear loneliness, but fear is why I do not join the crowd. Fear keeps me up at night, but fear drugs me with drowsiness and keeps me dreaming. My fear seeps into every wound of my laughter, every window of my breathing, every aperture of my sore heartbeat. I am afraid of drawing the curtains. Fear is my tongue rolling up the carpet to reveal rotted wood. Fear is my mind turning off all the lights while I am still awake, or turning on all the lights while I am still sleeping. Fear is falling in my sleep and waking up on a wet mattress. We say fear must be overcome by the body that feels it. How do you overcome a roller coaster ride with broken seatbelts? How do you outrun a driver and his headlights? Sometimes when the body knows that it is not safe or welcome, it forces you to retreat. Who am I to tell my brown skin to stop sweating earthquakes? Sometimes when the body knows it is not safe or welcome, it forces you to assimilate. Who am I to shame my tongue for fabricating white picket childhood and biting down on the other syllables in my name? Sometimes the body just knows when no one else does. Sometimes fear is safety for those who cannot afford the danger. You cannot blame the house for being haunted. A woman scared of her own shadow. There are ghosts sleeping in its corners. There are ghosts throwing parties in its corridors. The walls are screaming, but their cries are only a waft in the frozen air. And no one is brave enough to stop shattering the windows with gravel and beer bottles on nights that they are looking for a challenge or a joke or a scare. No one is brave enough to walk in through the front door and sit around the fireplace.
Gang, give it up for the poet.
Woo!
We had one woo. I think we could do better than that. Can we get some more woos for the poet? Hey, there we go. That's more like it. That sounds like maximum love. Gang. Do we have the score for the last poet?
I'm still working on it. We'll talk about it.
Okay, we're still working on the scores for the last poet. Working that out.
But thank you, judges. You're doing great.
But yes, judges, y'all are doing great. Keep sending those scores into Tino. Yeah, once again, before we move on to the feature, I do want to once again remind folks sitting at home, if y'all just joined tonight, we are shouting out and directing y'all to support a GoFundMe of a community member that is in dire need of support leaving an abusive situation. We have a fundraising goal tonight to get that GoFundMe to $1,000. We are currently at 796 due to the charitable donations of several people during the course of our show. I think we can get several more. I think we can get the community support we need in order to push that over $1,000 so we can at least give that much. That's the least that we can do. You know, the holidays are coming up. And so leaving an abusive situation during the holidays can be even more stressful than normal. So please, not even please, I'm demanding at this point. I am demanding that we as a community put our money where our fucking mouths are. If we really do stand by the women in our community, if we stand by Black women, if we stand by survivors, if we stand by people who are going through real serious shit, then we need to put our money where our mouths are and donate and make sure they get up out of these situations. Because it's not, they can't, nobody can do it alone. I work in social services. No one can do it alone. And no one, the people who need social services and the services that organizations like the one I work for provide often can't afford it, often can't access it. And it's GoFundMe's community support that really pushes them in the position to be able to lift themselves out of that situation. So I'm telling you right now from firsthand experience working in this kind of work that community support goes a long fucking way in changing someone's life. So definitely, I think we can do it. I think we can donate.
Emotion, contagious.
Okay, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Lit. So Imogen got a 25.1. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. And Khadija got a 27.2. Once again, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. It is all about the art and artistry. And speaking of art and artistry, I'm so excited for this feature. Our feature tonight is Donte Clark, aka DONBLAK. I can't say this enough. A Richmond native, as a native of Richmond, California. It is nice to have somebody from the Rich featuring. Like, as soon as you spoke in the workshop, I had to turn my camera off and squeal because like that's the first time during this like quarantine since I've been like cut off from people where like I've been in a Zoom room full of people and I heard somebody that sounded like home. So like thank you so much for agreeing to be here. That really warms my heart. But I'm gonna read Donte's bio because it's lit. Donte Clark, aka DONBLAK, a native of Richmond, California, reigns as one of the most prolific writers and voices out of the Bay Area arts community. Donte is not only eclectic in the art of storytelling through the spoken word, his body language and musical performance. His musical presence in performance is poetry in itself. He captures the complexities of what it feels and looks like to be vulnerable within Black masculinity while governed by a society of white supremacy and hyper-violence amongst Black youth. Donte is author and co-star of stage play Tay's Harmony, which is featured in documentary Romeo is Bleeding, about growing up in Richmond, California, seen through the lens of Romeo and Juliet. Highly recommend that documentary. Yes. Donte published his first collection of poetry in 2018 titled No Freedom, available on Amazon. And he is currently working on his next collection called The Times We Lived, available February 2021. I want y'all to give a hella big welcome to our feature, Donté Clark.
Man, peace, family. Y'all can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
For surely. Man, I appreciate everybody for being here, man. All of the poets who signed up, who shared some of their poetry, some of their performance. The host, thank y'all for inviting me. Man, it's an honor, it's a privilege. I ain't gonna be too long. I'm gonna try to keep this, you know what I'm saying, brief and to the point, you know what I mean? Thank y'all for the time, for allowing me to speak. Yeah, let's get into it, man. A couple pieces I'm gonna do for y'all. Some of these pieces can be found in my book, No Freedom. I have some new pieces that I'm working on currently right now in the editing phase. I'll probably share that at the next slam tomorrow or Saturday. So stay tuned in for that. But let's get into this. I'm a walking prayer, Negro spiritual. Cry from a broken heart that bleeds obsidian. Trying not to be a cup of bitter sip on bed table, absent of soul food, in the kitchen out of reach from grandma's hands, in some trap house, section 8 miles away from life that's living. Whew, I want to empty out, be baptized in honey and drip for eternity, for eternities, like life sings me sweet songs. I would love to dance, but I'm afraid of my feet. Like being born black, bearing blues by brothers buried beneath bridges. Burned bodies belittled before becoming better. Beyond broken, but believing. Because brotherhood build beautiful bonds, bypassing bullies, brute, billy bats, beating blacks back, bone breaking, burdened by balancing books, bullets, bricks, bearing blocks blown by bombs, billowing blues, Billy Blue before, back bust boy, cotton brung benefits be barely breathing, between blitz, brought by Babylonians, Baphomets, biopics be blackberries bent below bulky branches, bruh, life, come on, sings me sweet songs. I would love to dance, but I'm afraid of my feet, like life sings me sweet songs. I would love to dance, but I'm afraid of my 2 feet planted. Yeah, well, it's more like I'm stranded. I'm wilding out with Nick holding a cannon. Blood on my kicks betwixt this life of scamming. Corner store gambling, weed, soda, chips between a sandwich, car radio slamming where we be jamming, seed shells and spit where we all standing. No shirt, bare bodies built, branded with 4 gold teeth, mystique, sleek, candid. Liz skirts, booties get handed off easily, granted and high demanded. Slightly slanted, lean on mama's back. Porch, front yard, where we all crowded. The fear having our minds clear, so we be clouded. Some fucks giving over my bucks, I doubt it. Touch a milli or forever eat chili is no rerouting. Damn, my heart's pounding. I'm down with trying my hand in the coin fountain. Sometimes I want to fly away with the wind. Sometimes I want to fly away with the wind. Standing before noon, with Blackbird tunes clean curbside, Mad Circle, Chesley, Fifth Street, Burial, cite us for loitering here. Blood and liquor, spill out us bronze vessels, tattooed with ghetto gospels, gold teeth smiling, past hurt, bullet scars left across my kernel, yeah. Shit, I live where we die. Can't hide when death walk, we be out, side hanging, still. Camp close with our tribe, slur speech, family tied back, 60 years before crack, before being black was us, damned we are, with peace of minds as yours reap, loose sleep, drink this reap, what gains for our claims besides prison, barred, triggered, beat down, work, hoard, cracked our crown, hero in attempts to free dumb minds, trap babies, blame us for hell's heat, for poverty's lease around our neck, milk our pockets and white fly your college, yeah, sun raise our sails, bruise fruit, right well for jail, they sell sales, free labor still here, do-do-do-do, still here, do-do-do-do. Somewhere in America, my 2 feet are Nike shoelaced on jaded, sidewalks a crisscross rhythm with proverbs, scriptures, and psalms to Yah are him printed on my heart. It's patterned to the blues, that jazz and auntie shoes, that jazz and auntie shoes. Do-do-do-do. We overstepped last night's snooze, the blood spills when life in its earliest years slips. In cracks and pits of ghetto bellies hunger, cling to rib cage, Fifth and Chesley, liquor, swallow, Hennessy, tears drop on vacant lies, maybe a rose or two will grow from this asphalt, slanted, clipped petals, crimson dip, because when thugs cry, bloodshed, yeah, these streets will do that to you. Do-do-do-do. You be somewhere in America, a folded wide in the pockets of court cases when white men in black gowns gavel, racist sightings in silence, you sit there, clenched teeth, seat with grief and cry, when 12 strangers, all who favor disciples, a white God, hang niggas with a life sentence, with prideful stares that tap dance a glance from the abyss of a blue-eyed sea. See, I see y'all see me as a life sentence. Yeah, yes you do, do. That's what I heard. I heard my skin, my nose, this feet, my throat, you counted your foes, a byword, like black, like black be me, like I ain't the soil, like this blood, ruby red, jewel post ain't royal. What nigga? You think I ain't somewhere in America, a full shoulder with the burden sacked across my back, sack like nowhere for higher, plight, I cite nowhere for higher, like, do you know where for higher? Do. Aside county, aside state, aside the federal numbers across my breastplate, aside a thick stake of debt and the breath taker after nights when we had to fight against everything. Because somewhere in America, there are childs left behind to daily bread and molded crumbs as gums beg me of my pennies for Denny's instead of the Most High's mercy. They thirsty or starving, living waters, gardens of Eden. Fruit be best without heathens, misleading sowings to evil knowings. Where you going, my nigga? Do. Somewhere in America. Shit, I go to find me some freedom somewhere in America. Whitey says I's free and I believe them. Can't leave them here. No. It ain't the best of things to do. Go home to the motherland for what? I's fine. Right here in his zoo. Ooh. What's left with you? Don't you know no right shit? I was okay with anything we get as long as I was equal to the whites, but not like this. All kick your head and dirty like yikes. Be me for what? What's special about me as I be? As I be me, I gets nowhere but grave. Engraved picture on a shirt, facetious white Jesus left me dead in a church somewhere in the South. Television sold me. They tell a vision of lies, convenient for the couch, anything to entertain your mind, control how you think, because you think. Who told you that? Do. Who told you that freedom was somewhere in America? Because I've been thumbs up, side road hiking. I'm college paper typing, 2 jobs, overnighting, overtraining, Tyson, fighting, and biting my way through this holy field, and I ain't seen it. Do. Who told you that somewhere in America, affirmative action in favor for you? I'll wait. Do. At the Fruitvale Station, wake for Oscar, grant us peace for Eric, garner the spirit to hip-hop lyrics, a toenail closer inside a mansion or kingdom. Stop dancing for chances. You want answers, then be them. You breathe them, sofa rise. The heat thickens. They say Black Lives Matter. Are we kidding? Black Lives Matter while livers sicken from vodka, Bloody Mary shots. They bullet our babies to submission. Your attention is pavement, huh? So what do we invest our time in? Is it sin? Is it the white man's gin? Because if it's not to Messiah your soul, shit, it's nothing pretty. We're just a pack of blind eyes chasing shadows in a burning city somewhere in America. Sometimes I want to fly away with the wind. Yeah. Sometimes I want to fly away with. Sometimes I want to fly. Thank y'all for allowing me to speak, man. Big ups to everybody. Talk to y'all soon, man.
Wow, give it up for Donte Clark, everybody. Yes. Oh my
Gang.
Gang, gang, gang. Thank you so much for being here. If you happen to miss it, which, like, if you missed it, that means you just missed it, which means, like, damn, get it together just a little bit. We are going to be right back at it again tomorrow for the Berkeley Slam. So you can catch Donte. Uh, how many more times this week?
2.
2 more times this week?
Yeah, I think tomorrow and then Saturday.
Oh, lit. Oh, it's going to be bad Saturday because Saturday is my birthday show and I'm going to be on one. Yeah, thank you so much. I look forward to hearing more from you this week. Yeah, damn. I just need to take a breath. Hold on, like, let me reset. And also let me wait for this list real quick. Can you send me?
Oh, that's on me.
Yes, can you send me the list, sir?
I'm so sorry.
Here I am waiting on this scorekeeper to send me the list. Like,
I mean,
who else
while you're resetting, it's not a bad time for me to reset the Instagram stream.
We're resetting the Instagram.
Where are we on the goal?
We are sitting at 796. I think we can get it up more. Get it up more. Like I said earlier, we have a community member who is in dire need of monetary support via a GoFundMe. I know that the larger goal on the GoFundMe is $5,000. I think that we as a collective have the ability to push it to at least $1,000 by the end of the night. We're at 796. It does not take much to push it over to $1,000. So if you got it, I encourage you to drop it. If you don't got it, I encourage you to share it with somebody who does have it, because we ain't all rich, but we all know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that heard of somebody who's rich. So, you know, the power of community is that we can pull something out of nothing if we share it with enough people. So I encourage you, if you can't use your wallet power, use your networking power to help a community member in need. So we'll be posting the GoFundMe link in the chat. And I have a list for you. So it's reverse order of appearance. So we got Khadija, then we got Imogen, then we got Tara, then we got Alex the Great, and then we got Cornrow Colin. I'm so glad I didn't fuck up anybody's name, because this is like doctor wrote me a prescription kind of handwriting.
It's pretty as fuck. Leave me alone.
Pretty.
Back on Instagram.
Lit. We are back on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. Y'all dropped off for a minute because the platform's live streaming is whack. Please don't take us down, Mark Zuckerberg, even though the government is currently trying to break you up. We're gonna get this stream taken down. But just for those who joined us on Instagram, our list is for our second round is Khadija, then Imogen, then Tara, then Alex the Great, and then Cornrow Colin. Lit. So we're just going to get started. Are we ready for the second round? I'm gonna take that as a no. Y'all need a moment to just warm up, like clear. Okay. Are y'all ready for the second round? Okay, we heard some moves, mostly Tino, but I'll allow it. No, we need our sacrificial poet. Y'all had a feature. We need to recalibrate. So we got a sacrificial poet, someone to get y'all recalibrated. Need y'all to say, spill the blood and give it up for your sacrificial poet, Tino. Gang, gang, gang.
Whoop, whoop. Brah.
The bottle speaks to me at 3 a.m. I think you need to be more afraid of me than you are of yourself. Most dinners don't go by unattended by us, and we are as much cousins as divorces in Catholic families. But I am the black sheep calling all of you my herd. I am well aware of how unwanted we are here. But someone said forgive and forgetfulness fell soon after, and we dance one more time until there are no memories of the fights we had, just bruises and kisses that smell too much like me. There is a belly of a beast's worth of history. Men who claim to be broken but hide behind their godhood. Tell lies as long as my neck, and as you find me here at your dinner table, on your altar, your blood. I pull strings and generations unravel. I call and host all the parties, and there's never a mess I have to clean. It's all a spectacle to me. A family wrestles sobriety and loses everything in the process. Anything can be a blood sport if there is enough masculinity bottled, as long as there are hands willing to fist before they are willing to embrace. I never miss a fight. I'm the first thing saved, the last thing passed around, and always a scapegoat when accountability demands to abstain from me. All the men in your family swing first and blame the liquor later. Leave me for empty to fill themselves just to return to me. You say stupidity, but there is more dread laced in your breath than anything I have known. Exactly where your feet fall when you consume me. Do you see the ending where the violence began? They fall the fists wherever I know you are afraid. Don't you see the reflection on the side of my body? Your eyes on the glass. What a tyro. You really believe you can hold yourself better, ever than they could.
Gang, give it up for your sacrificial poet. What? Yeah. Lit. Judges, you know what to do. Send your scores to Tino. Lit. Okay. So that was our sacrificial poet of our second round. We are now moistened up, all lubricated for another round.
Please stop. I will sue you.
Is it because I said moist?
Yes, because of moist.
Okay,
moist. The word moist.
Well, fine. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like wetting the tongue? Like that sounds worse.
Liquidated.
Liquidated. I'm not arguing with God over this.
Hydrated.
We'll discuss language around alternatives for moist. Write a poem about it, Arvind. But on deck, we have Imogen, but give maximum love for the first poet in the second round. Give it up for Khadijah.
Woo! Ode to my poetry. You are the first time I learned how to fall in love with honesty. Like the first time I learned to ride a two-wheel bike, I wasn't even trying. I don't mean to say that I'm a natural, because trust me, it took time to learn how to groove through grass, pedal uphill, coast on road. I just mean that I was so undetermined to abandon my training wheels. So sure, I would need them back once I was done pretending to be a girl unafraid of scraped knees and bruised ankles. So I learned to travel through the trails of pheromones you leave behind between wet walnut tree trunks and cinnamon coffee soil. I swear, I can smell you from 3 days away, and even when you are not caught up in the chain links of my teeth, I carry you, fresh air, and a portable tire pump wherever I am. Yes, it's strange, but it's true. See, I've always thought that alone I would lose my balance. So you are the first time I learned to love, defying gravity, knowing that this kind of love will never let me down. You are the first time I learned that this heart is an engine, this tongue, the gas pedal, and me not knowing how to drive yet is besides the point. It doesn't mean that anything other than time, paper, and prayers can guide me through the highway, and if all else fails, at least I'll have my bike. So when I no longer believe in saviors. When I was younger, before I had met you, my wedding plans were all white dress, white cake, and a white man. I have never loved a white boy, but I believed that if white boy loved me, then I would not have big burnt hands from being shoved to the ground so often. You are the first time that I learned how to fall. I learned to love soil and its umber clay, and for the first time, I saw my palms sculpt a home using my paper bones as a mold for each window frame. I saw the tips of my fingers trace music and rewrite it into a circuit with 2 snaps. I ignite heat and trap it in a beautiful glass jar and release it into the golden evening when the outline of trees against the sky is still brown and the sun is no longer chasing white moon. What I'm trying to say is that there's no better place to learn to love my hands than on your body. You're only one day at the beach, but I find your sand still stuck into the pockets of the jeans that I refuse to admit I've outgrown. Months later, because if I keep my mind off of you long enough, my body starts to miss the growing pains. You were the first time I learned how to fall in love with vulnerability. Because the first time I learned to ride a 2-wheel bike, damn it, I tried. I can't remember how many times I threw the bike on its side, trying to make it feel the pain that my tiny heart did after failing and failing, you son of a bicycle. I do not love vulnerability. And this is just like any relationship we fight, because sometimes I just want you to feel the way I do without me having to spell it out for you. You are the only time I learned how to fall in love with feeling ugly, the wheel spinning on a downhill anxiety, my fingers still on the trigger of the bike bell, the broken Blake, flat tired heartache, which is to say it's all food for the art, which is to say it's food for you, which is to say it's food for me. Can we be mutually exclusive, the artist separated from their art? Can I learn to stop falling for just anyone who can craft their words into lyrics? The created tries to become creator of creation. You are flawed. Simple arithmetic mistake somewhere in your formula makes the whole bridge collapse. So I rewrite you, I rewrite you, I rewrite you until there is some semblance of truth.
Gang, give it up for the poet. Yes. And your sacrifice, Tino, got a 27.5. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and the artistry. Yes. Although the judges have been amazingly consistent, so thank you for being consistent. But also fuck the scores. Lit. Yeah, on deck we have Imogen, but on deck we have Tara, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Imogen.
Hello again. Sorry, I forgot to give you a trigger warning last time. This one is gun violence. Kind of. Just a lot of violence. Same old, same old. Strolling into a one-horse town, whistling Dixie, eyes caressing a line of steel steeds, nibbling on concrete. This may be where I can rest a while, she reflects before a gleeful rogue riding a hog zooms past, leaving her to wonder what for. Across town, a police car puts on its sirens, wailing to accompany an adrenaline-high errand, screeches to a stop in a near 180 outside a red brick framed with ivy. The silence under the clear blue sky, chaos in the corridor century-old belies. Apart from the stillness of the expired, and the forced hush of those seeking to hide from a normally quiet loner turned Mr. Hyde, punctuating walls, skin, and air with periods before the bells announce the third period. At some point, after an eon passes, for those who await their dreaded fate, he will surrender without coming to harm to the squads outside waiting to disarm, preceding a parade of coffins pallbeared to the tune of thoughts and prayers, all around ushering a hushing of politics, followed by the news that our Mr. Hyde was obsessed with his last girlfriend and lavished abuse on her and friends, while the media combs through fine details of his life like a dedicated TV show. And his now dead ex remains nameless, another missed clue shoved aside as useless, piled into an already overstuffed closet with dismissed misogyny buried over the years, threatening to unhinge the bulging doors. The same pattern tattoo so many mass killer Johnnies. You think someone would notice the similarities, apart from journalists listing statistics being ignored, while another horror show is cycled through as a snore. All this, our newly arrived stranger watches on the TV at her now frequent hangout, thinking, this is all too familiar. Is anywhere still safe?
Gang, 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 give it up for Emogen. Yes. All right. And Khadija had a 27.3. Fuck the scores. Of course, you know what I'm going to say. It is all about the poetry and not the points. Like I said earlier, we are pushing a GoFundMe of a community member that is in extreme need, getting help out of an abusive situation. We really want to not encourage. I personally demand support from a community that, you know, is supposed to be about helping survivors. Yeah, it's low-key a stick up. Like, if you don't got it, I'm not gonna take the last of your money. But like, if you do got it, like, let's support survivors. Let's support women. Let's support the vulnerable people in our community, because nobody got us but us. Like, the government's not gonna do nothing. This city, the state, nobody who has the money to fix our problems has ever fixed our problems. We have to work together and pool our resources together to help the most vulnerable people. So,
share the link. It's free to share the link. It doesn't cost anything.
It's free to share the link. It is free to share the link. What is not free is leaving somebody ass out. Someone always pays. When we don't support community, someone always pays. And it is usually the person who can least afford to pay. So I'm encouraging the people who can most afford to pay to do the most, and the people who can't afford to pay, share it. That is your toll. That is your toll. We provide these shows for free 99. All we ask you to do is to help the people in our community that are doing that are trying to survive and do not have the support that is necessary to survive in tough situations, let alone in a pandemic, let alone during the holidays. It's bullshit that we even have to do things like that, and that these funds even have to exist, but they do. And it is our job to make sure that one less fund is below its goal. That is our job, to make sure that one less fund is below its goal. We can't fix the world, but we can fix one person's life. And I challenge you to fix one person's life today, even if it's just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be your life savings, but it should be something, because you're going to want somebody to do the same if you were in that situation. You're going to need somebody to do the same when you're in that situation. So we'll post that link in the comment section, and y'all are gonna do what y'all are gonna do best, which is support community. I believe in y'all. I believe in us. I believe in us. So on deck, we have Alex the Great, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up in the second round. Give it up for Tara.
Boom. And the badness begins. A sequence of sadness, it comes in trends. You see, madness attracts a soul that's grim. And the ice wears thin as the bridges burn. Concerns cut on, and now it takes a turn. It's quick to fester, the quest to minimize mentality. Mixing emotions, twisted reality. It ought to be modesty that's been keeping me grounded, and I found it rough to wrap my head around it. These problems I cry, they have no solution. Conclusion, you tell me, it'll come with time as Pollution of truth quickly fills my mind. I'm feeling crazy. Blurred vision and my mind's growing hazy. No, I'm not praising all these gift of emotions. I got chemical potions and they're oddly imbalanced. With these withering talents, I've got addictive victories and I'm building history on a memory's mystery. No strength, little length in my train of thought, and good choices are soon forgotten. I choose rotten rules, fuels to sip sedation, creation slips. I'm chasing an easy fix, the perfect mix. Well, it's long awaiting, but where's it at? Because I'm getting higher and higher. Weak thoughts expire. Let's stoke the fire, ignite the dream, intervene with your state of being, and be what's happening.
Gang. Give it up for Tara. I think there might have been technical difficulties on your end, Prophet. Sorry. I don't know if that was everyone I heard. I heard the whole poem. Cool. So it looks like it was on your end, as long as it wasn't something that we did. Yeah, lit. Thank y'all. Lit. Judges, send your scores to Tino. And Imogen got a 24.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, not the points, as always. So lit. We gonna keep the ball rolling, cause on deck we got Cornrow Colin. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Alex the Great.
Whoop whoop.
In my most vivid of dreams, I live in a state of pure euphoria, where fantasy crosses over to reality. I don't know a world in which I didn't know my history. Minority is a word just as foreign to me as illiterate. Everyone a scholar in their own birthright. Du Bois had not developed a concept of the talented 10th because Black folk were the exceptional 100%. There was no protest against affirmative action. 209 is only an area code, not a prop or a foul, a reason to call time out. Our history in ancient Egypt, rooted in royalty, dressed as deity, is equal parts to the curriculum, just as integral as the Constitution, just as American as apple pie. My name is still my name, and my brother's name, and my sister's name, and my grandmother's name, no matter how much practice it takes to say correctly. I am worth a summoning without mispronunciation, and added pause if need be, not in need of correction. Provide me a seance so I can convene with the ancestor Thurgood, and we instill some martial law over this injustice. I have taken my power back because we all know the pen is mightier than the sword. That's why they say the mind is sharp. To say I'm smart is an understatement. I am ingenious. I was born with the intellects of 4 generations. Just stopped by outside of my mind to say Black folks never needed you to give us a holiday. Everything we got, we earned. Everything you bought, you take. You steal, you lie, and as the story goes, you lie, you a thief, you'll kill, you murder, you murderer, and you live to laugh about it another day. You smile in our face, you spit on our grandfather's graves, you desecrate the sanctity of our name, but you cannot stop this praise. Shake down the leaves, but you cannot cut the roots away.
Gang, give it up for Alex.
Yes.
Can I get those scores?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Do you not have the scores?
I do have the scores.
Lord,
show them to you in that way.
Ooh, where? Here?
Yeah.
Okay. And Tara got a 24.6. Fuck the scores. Fuck the points. It is all about the poetry and the bravery, and not these stupid ass points. That's just the way we bribed everyone to get here. One of the judges said, fuck the judges, so we can tell how serious this is. So on deck, we have finding out who's getting all of this money. And I don't know, I'm not gonna say going home because you should already be home because it's a pandemic, period. So on deck, we find out who's getting all this money, but give maximum love to our last poet of the night. Give it up for Corn Row Colin.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
Black boy walks down the street humming his favorite song, and white folks go pale, act like they've seen a ghost, someone dead, or at least supposed to be, and funny how quickly my life can come into question and how quickly a bullet becomes the answer. Everybody in this neighborhood is equipped with shotgun mouth and buckshot teeth, so I've not encountered anyone who hasn't fixed their mouth to call me dead, and now even their apologies are starting to feel more like a eulogy. Their guilt, just another way to quell a revolution, like they can cry themselves into allyship. But I've learned not to trust someone who only offers me remorse. Sometimes an apology is an act of violence, or at least a way to erase it. White people revise the phrase, "I didn't speak up," and change it to, "I should have spoken." They ask for forgiveness and expect a pat on the back and a plate at the cookout, but I've been bitten by enough snakes to know better than to stick my hand out to try to feed them. You know, it takes an ungodly amount of apathy to be a bystander to racism, and even more audacity to try to apologize for it later, to only see my value in hindsight. Sometimes I wonder exactly how many white people will cry at my funeral without acknowledging exactly how their hands helped close the casket. Yes, Becky's audacity did fire the first bullet, but Susan's silence fired the second, and her apology fired the third. I'm telling you, everybody in this neighborhood is a part of the same firing squad. Mouths wide open with trigger finger tongues, locked and loaded and aimed at me.
Gang, gang, give it up for the poet. Gratata. Wow. Wow. Judges, for the last time tonight, send your scores to Tino. Wow, we've made it through this slam. We're just waiting for our lovely scorekeeper to tally up all these scores. Doing math on a Tuesday night, you literally cannot pay me to do that. But yes. But while we're waiting on the scores, let me tell you about a few things that are going on. First, keep donating to that GoFundMe page. It is not enough to say we support survivors in the community. We need to put our money where our mouths are. We'll be blasting this all throughout this week. So we are still at $7.96. I'm a little disappointed, but I'd like to thank everybody who has donated, and there's still time. So there's always time. It's never too late. We're going to be blasting this for the rest of this week. It's going to be up for longer, and you'll be able to do it. Can we get it to 800? Can someone donate $5? Dr. Umar, let me get your grit money. If I can get your grits money. But no, seriously. Seriously, even a little bit does help.
You wanna give the scores for Alex's last round?
Yeah, Alex got a 29.7, and what did Colin get?
28.9.
And Colin got a 28.9. Lit. So we are tabulating them scores. Those skirts. But yeah, some other things that are going on outside of our fundraiser. Tomorrow we have the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We'll be live streaming that on the Berkeley Slam page, as well as the Berkeley Slam Instagram page, and of course, youtube.com/BayPoetsUnite. We will also be having the Alchemy Open Mic on Saturday via Instagram Live. Both of those will be featuring Donte Clark. So if you missed our feature tonight, you got 2 more chances to get your shit together. And then our last event for before the holidays is going to be one of my favorites. Me and Colin are going to be going live on all of our platforms on Sunday. afternoon, getting super drunk because it's our birthday, and we are going to be doing a versus battle between your favorite dead white poets. So if you want to see Dr. Seuss versus Cell Silverstein, or I don't know, who else do we have? Emily Dickinson versus Charles Dickens. If you want to see these wacky matchups, you should definitely come on by. Yeah, after that, we're going to be taking a break for the holidays, and we will see you again in we will see you again in 2021. So this is our last Oakland Slam of the year. Wow. I'm so proud of all of y'all for helping us through this year. From all the poets that we've had. I'm stalling, by the way. I'm stalling for this, these winners. I'm not just talking out my ass. But no, seriously. We started in a new venue and ended in the internet. It's been a wild year, and it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for all of our amazing features, all of the amazing poets that sign up month after month, all of our donors, all of the people that watch at home. Honestly, y'all make this work so worth it. We have an amazing community that we've been able to meet people from across the country, across the world, and even though 2020 has sucked, Rich Oak and Oakland Slam and Berkeley Slam, those have definitely made this year worth going through for me. But I have skirts. I got skirts. Ooh, shit, these scores are kinda close. So in third place with a 54.5, give it up for Khadijah.
Woo, woo,
Gang, 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 gang. If you'd like to say anything to the peoples.
I didn't realize we were giving speeches. Yeah, this is really fun. Thank you guys so much for hosting this. I live in New Jersey, so like I can't really do a lot of slams. So in some way, like the pandemic is kind of a blessing because we don't have a lot of slams around here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please come back. Everybody who's touched this stage tonight, please come back. Like, legitimately, I know the scores were whack tonight. I can say it now. Scores were whack. As they come, all scores are whack, but like, seriously, the scores do not diminish any of the talent and the writing that were on the stage. Everyone is absolutely amazing, absolutely talented, and blew my mind with poem after poem after poem after poem. You are all artists. You are all worthy. You are all amazing. Trust me. Don't trust no fucking numbers. Trust me. I've been in the game longer than numbers. And I know amazing, talented people when I see amazing, talented people. Y'all are amazing. In second place, with a 56.5, give it up for Coro Collins.
Gang, gang.
To the people.
Thank you, everybody. It's my birth week, so we just turned up. I was born first. You stole my birthday. You stole my face. But thank you so much for supporting. Please check out our live stream. We are gonna have a lot of fun. I'm telling y'all to show up for your own benefit. I'm gonna be drunk and talking shit about white people. So I'm gonna have my fun on my birthday, but we would love to share that experience with y'all. So definitely come through and throw your opinions out there for the live stream too. We want to know what y'all think. But thank you to everybody who touched the stage. Y'all were amazing. Our feature, who I don't think is in the Zoom anymore, geez, God. Thank you to our feature, but I'll stop talking now. Peace, y'all.
Lit. Thank you, Colin. And then That means in first place with a 56.8.
Hella close.
Give it up for Alex the Great.
Woo! Whoop, whoop.
Gang. Is there anything you'd like to say to the peoples?
No, my hair ain't dead.
It's not your hair, it's your voice. Everything. It's everything.
Okay, thank you for listening. I'm glad you like my poems.
Thank you. And thank you, Alex. Thank you, Khadijah. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Imogen. Thank you, Dante. Thank you to our judges. Thank you, everyone. Y'all are amazing. We are going to post our sign-up list for the Berkeley Poetry Slam tomorrow in the chat if you would like to sign up for tomorrow's show. But yeah, this is the end of tonight's show. So we will see y'all in the near future of tomorrow. I've been Reggie. This has been the Oakland Poetry Slam, and we will see y'all in 2021. And
Seacrest out.